Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm back with another video. If you're returning, welcome, and if you're new, my name is Tshepi Mogotsi and welcome to where it's at. So go ahead and do yourself a favor and click that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and we'll go straight into it. So today is part 2 of my varsity experience 2-part series. The first one I was talking about things I wish I knew before I went to varsity. If you haven't seen that yet, please go check it out. So as you guys know, I'm done with varsity, I'm done with school. I've completed my degree at BAC and I managed to complete my degree with no reset, no retake, or no resubmission. And today I'm going to be giving you tips on how I managed to do that and basically how to survive the semester. I'm going to try to keep this video short and straight to the point because, you know, let me actually just do a quick disclaimer. Everything that I'm going to be talking about is based off of my experience at BAC. My experience at BAC, okay? I mean, obviously most of the things I'm going to be talking about may also apply at other institutions, but I'm just letting you guys know. Like, I don't know how other institutions work, how many modules you guys have in a semester, so I'm just saying this off of my experience at BAC. So if you feel like most of these things don't work for you or are not going to work for you at other institutions, then please don't come for me because, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Okay, so tip number 1 is don't go into the semester with the wrong mentality. I think in semester 1 of year 1, there was this lady. She was taking us for management accounting, and before we started the module, she basically just took us through like a little pep talk, and she basically just said, you don't go into this with the mentality of what it's difficult. Instead, you say it's doable. And this is a statement I've had at the back of my head for like my entire varsity life. Every time I start a module, every time I start a semester, I'm like, okay, this is not difficult, it's doable. Doable in the sense that, you know what, there's been people before you, there's been people who have done that module and made it through it. If they can do it, you can also do it. I'm not saying it's not challenging. It's challenging, but it's doable. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I am making you guys hear what I'm saying. So tip number 2 is make notes after every lecture, and basically this will just help you to keep up to speed with the pace of the semester and what you guys are learning in class, what the lecturer is teaching about, and you don't want to be left behind. You know, I've had so many instances where we could be in week 5 or 6 and I'm like, I'm so stressed because I don't remember the things we did in week 1 or week 2 because you weren't making notes, you weren't keeping up, you weren't doing tutorials and that type of stuff. So don't put yourself in that situation after every class, or just make sure as the week ends, like after every week ends, you update your notes, you keep up with what it is you guys did in that week, and it helps you free up a lot of time. It helps you free a lot of study time because instead of starting with making notes, you already have everything you need in front of you, and it makes your study sessions a whole lot easier, and it creates time for you when it comes to that saving the semester period, because you know what, I may be behind in school, but at least all my notes are up to date. Everything I need is in the book and written. All I just need to do is brush through and remind myself of what I learned. So tip number 3 is identify the most effective study technique for you. I think by the time you're already in varsity, you already understand the type of learner you are. You understand how you learn, how things stick in your mind better, what works for you and what doesn't, that type of thing. So me, it has always been mind mapping, and this was something suggested to me by my biology teacher in senior school, and I've been using it throughout senior school and throughout varsity. And basically what a mind map is a whole topic in one page. So basically you're just summarizing it into subheadings and bullet points. So you only put in the main points of the topic. You don't put all of those unnecessary explanations and stuff, and this helps you to remember the important points quicker. So let me just do a quick demonstration for you guys. This is something I did for corporate finance, and So basically it's a whole page, right? One page, I have like one whole topic in it. So if I have 10 topics in a module, then it means I'm going to have 10 pages of 10 topics. You get what I mean? So basically what I'm doing is, I hope you guys can see. I don't know, man, why is it getting dark? Yo, anyway, so this is one topic, right? And here I have the heading in the middle, and these are subheadings of the topic and bullet points under each subheading. So the thing with mind mapping is you pair it with studying, because you have to be able to explain an entire topic without referring back to your full notes, if you get what I mean. It sounds like a lot, but that's why I'm saying, you know what, you need to understand the type of learner you are, because I'm a writer. I like writing. That's how things stick in my mind better. That's the technique I've discovered for myself. So mind mapping is very effective for exam preparation, because I feel like we all know there comes a time in the semester where you just have to throw away the notebook. You can't be flipping through hundreds and hundreds of pages when you're preparing for an exam in a week or two. So instead of me having to read a whole entire book, like this whole thing of notes, I have this whole page that has one topic and 10 pages of 10 topics. So it's so effective. I have all my important notes there. I have all the important points that I need to know, and instead of reading a whole entire notebook, I'm only reading these super short and super straight to the point mind maps. So tip number 4 is make YouTube your friend. I can't tell you how much this has helped me, and especially that I went into accounting with no prior experience or prior knowledge. So I was learning everything from scratch. I mean, even though the lecturers were claiming everything we're going to be teaching you, we're going to be starting from scratch, it wasn't really from scratch. A lot of things I had to learn on my own. I had to learn certain concepts on my own, because honestly, a lecturer is not going to be there to give you every single thing you need. He's just going to be there to give you the skeleton, and you're the one that's supposed to like put the meat to the skeleton. The main thing about passing your exams is understanding the concept of a topic. And I think this is something a lot of us miss. We are just so obsessed, or we're so quick to say, I need to cram these things and I need to make it through this exam, but that does not work. If you're trying to get high marks, then you have to understand the concept. So tip number 5, do not plan to fail. And this relates back to the first tip I mentioned. Don't go into something with a certain mentality, or don't go into the semester with the wrong mentality. Do not plan to fail. I've come across so many people who would always be like, you know what, the resits are easier. And now personally, I don't like putting myself in a situation that leaves room for failure. You know, I don't like putting myself in a situation that can compromise my progress. So me going for a reset was never an option. It was never an option for me. I've never had that in mind. And it's okay, we'll do that. No, I've never had that type of mentality, babes. And you shouldn't either, because I feel like the more you say that, it just makes you relax in a way, instead of fighting to like, you know what, let me just push myself for this week or two, and let me just make it through this exam with a good grade, or a grade enough to get me through. Do it and do it once. Do it and do it once, and get it over and done with. Number 6, and this is something you've probably heard your entire life, because everybody just preaches about this, that is being part of a study group. So you want to be in a study group with well-able people. You want to be in a study group with people that are smarter than you, and you want it to be with responsible people. It's all fun and games, right? Yeah, we've been in those groups. Everybody's just doing their own thing. We're just having fun with it. But then when you get to the final stages of varsity, but final year, you have to realize, so final year, you just have to identify the right people, because it's crunch time. We don't have time to be carrying other people. Like, you need to be with people that have the same goal. Like, everybody's putting their efforts, everybody's putting their energy into it, and because you don't know how stressful it is to be in a study group with potatoes, dog, with people with people who are just gonna sit there and let you do all the work. And it's stressful. It's a stressful situation to be in. So go for people who who want to get it, right? Yeah. Anyway. So tip number 7 is do not miss tutorials, especially towards the end of the semester. You do not want to do this. You do not want to miss tutorials or revision sessions with your lecturer towards the end of the semester. I tell you, dog, because this is a period where most lecturers give away the exam. They give you hints, they give you pointers, they give little ideas of what's going to be in the exam, focus points of the exam, and where you should focus on in your revision. So this could help you a lot. This could save your life. I've seen it happen a lot of times in my life, and just don't be that person that bunks school towards the end of the semester, because it's very important. Trust me when I tell you. So tip number 8 is you want to make use of past exam papers, tutorial material handed to you by your lecturer, whatever material it is you have in front of you. You want to make use of that because you want to learn the exam criteria. You want to learn how they structure the questions, focus points and topics, what they usually go for, what areas they usually go for. You want to learn that. And this will help you in terms of your studying and your revision because you know your focus point. With BAC, a lot of times the questions that come up in the exam are the questions we've seen in past tutorial papers. So you want to do every single question in your tutorial questions, whatever. You want to leave no stone unturned because best believe 80% of the time you're going to find that question in your exam, and you would hate to be there or this question was there in our tutorial papers, but because you didn't do it. Because you didn't do it, you're in big trouble. So please do not be that person. Use all the materials that are given to you. Learn the exam criteria from past exam papers. Know how to approach questions. Know the marking key, and it'll help you a lot. You will thank me later. Tip number 9 is maximize on your coursework and face test. Dog, I can't tell you how important this is. Like, you can't fail your coursework and your exam at the same time. It cannot happen like that. And the thing with courseworks is that, it's something you do over a course of like 5-6 weeks. You have the help of your lecturer, you have the help of your friends. So really you have no reason to say you failed your coursework because the chances of you passing your exam are like not that much as compared to how good you could have done in your coursework. So I've had so many times where my courseworks have saved my life because I gave them my all. I got a good grade, even though it's 40%. That 40% can do a lot, okay? And I've had times where I went into the exam room and I didn't know what I was going to write. I didn't know what I was going to write. But because I did good in my courseworks, that mark picked up my average and I passed my module, moving on to the next semester. So you do not want to be that person, please. You do not want to have a low mark for your coursework and a low mark for your exam at the same time. Be serious. So tip number 10, which is our last and final tip, is make God your friend and pray. When they say invite God in all areas of your life, that also includes your school, okay, your studies, everything. God has to be there. Put God there. There's never been a time where I walked into an exam room or opened my exam paper without saying a short prayer. And it doesn't have to be anything hectic. Just keep it nice and short and sweet, okay? God, thank you for this day. Thank you that everyone is here safe. Father, help me remember all the things that I studied and be with me, walk with me. I'm trusting you for a good outcome. Amen. You're done. And I remember at the start of before we started varsity, I was reading, like the previous group had just graduated and I was reading some of their stories, and there was this friend of mine, she did the same course as I did, and she was talking about how she made it through with no resits and no retakes. And I talked to God that night. I was like, God, you're gonna do that for me. And he did. He's faithful and he kept his promise. And that's why I'm saying, you guys, it's so important. Do not think you can do this alone. Don't think you can do this alone. I've been in situations where I looked, I'm not gonna pass. I don't even know what I'm gonna write. And there were times where I cried before going into the exam room because I was not ready. And every time I just say a short prayer to God. He knows my concerns. He knows the efforts that I put. He knows everything. I trusted God with all my heart. There was a time where I was like 2% away from a reset, dog, and I was just like, you know what, this can only be God, dog, because I didn't even know what I was writing in that exam. It's a learning process. Varsity is a learning process. It's very different from senior school and junior, in the sense that it moves so quickly and you have to adapt really fast. So just take time to learn how you study, learn what works for you. What works for me, what won't always work for you, but you can try. You know, it's all about trying and seeing if this thing is going to work for me. If not, move on to the next thing. So we have come to the end of my varsity experience 2-part series. I hope you guys found it insightful and helpful. And like I said, if you have a friend, a cousin, a nephew, a niece who's in the same situation, who's in varsity or starting varsity or in the final stages of varsity, please do share this with them. It could save their life. I'm to the end of our video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, like, and share, and subscribe, and click that notification bell so that you're notified every time I post. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.